Hi again. So working on our demonstration for what we're doing here. I've got my floor plan pulled up. I'm going to work on some kitchens and cabinets and that kind of thing right now. But first off, I need to go in here and drop a few things off. So let's start with some thinking as we're doing this. I know this is my kitchen area. I know this is a pantry. I know this is a powder room. And I know this is going to be my dining area in this home. Now, I like a lot of counter space. At least in our home, we often have more than one person in the kitchen working. We use up some space. We have baking going on, kneading of bread, laying out cookies and candy sometimes. Cutting boards are important, especially when getting ready for family barbecues or family meals and things like that. So as we're working around, doesn't matter if you're entertaining, if you're doing family things, if you're doing friends over, you want space, especially if you're an avid cook or baker. So I'm going to look at this and figure out where I want to put some things. First off, on my construction layer, I'm going to drop a line just somewhere right here, send it straight out that way. Now I'm just going to throw it out and see how far it goes. Now, if I go 12 feet, which is about right here-ish, that's a lot of counter space. Might be plenty for some people. In our case, I've got all the way down to here, which is 31 feet. I'm going to use up more than 12 feet here. I'm actually going to go about 14 feet out and drop it in. Now, there's my counter right there. That's how far out it's going to go. Now, that distance out from the wall, I have no idea what it is. I just slapped it onto the midpoint here. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to line right here from wherever, bring it straight down, attach to the corner. And a normal kitchen counter is 2 feet deep. Now, if I go in there and look, I'm going to have to move this line from that endpoint to that endpoint to get it to the 2 foot mark. Okay, I can actually get rid of that first line. Now, I'm going to use a fillet command real quick. Fillet just extends or cuts corners. Now, a fillet in real life is an inside rounded corner, just like a weld. But in this case, if I have a fillet with a radius of 0, which I have, and I click on line 1 here and line 2 here, it's just going to extend them until they meet at a square corner. Easy to do, something simple to have done. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to throw that in. Now, one of those weird things I want to look at, I'm going to make this layer current because I'm going to put in a window right here. I need some light in here. I mean, I know I've got monstrous windows all over the place, but I really do. I like a window in the kitchen. Just in case you open the window in the summer, get a nice spring coming in, spring breeze coming in. Who knows what you're going to deal with? I have been known to burn a few things at our home, so you might want a little bit of window. So I'm going to go a line right off the mid of this. I'm going to take it right through that wall. I'm going to offset it 2 feet in either direction. 2 feet to my right and 2 feet to my left from there. This line I made was completely sacrificial at that point, and I will erase it. So now I'm just going to trim, get rid of this, this, and this. Now, the way I did a trim, let me undo that. I went trim, enter, enter, and then I just pick and drag a crossing option across what I want to get rid of there, and a crossing option through there, and then a crossing option through there. I don't have to hit right on anything. I can just slap it on there relatively quick. Now, the next thing I can do is I can make my window layer here current, and then go rectangle, right from here to the midpoint of that, and that gives me a window symbol. So as I'm throwing those things together, it is relatively quick and easy to do some of this stuff, and some of it will become intuitive. Now, that's a 14-foot counter. I want a sink in that. I usually put my sinks dead center, and I prefer to have my dishwasher to the right because I'm right-handed. If you want to the left, great. Now, this is where you can get into some debate about upper cabinet doors, lower cabinet doors, how you want them open, what they should look like. That comes much later. So we'll worry about that somewhere down the line. But for right now, I'm going to go up here and tell it to insert. But first, I'm going to hit my save button real quick. Insert. And it should pop up the insert dialog here in just a second. It's processing. Well, that's quick. There it is. So my insert dialog comes up. Now I've got some options here. I've got a single bowl sink. I've got a TGI end view. I've got some notes I can use. In all honesty, there's a John. I love that name. Great. Somebody classy name that one. There's a range top. There's a double bowl sink. That's what I actually want right here. Right here. So I'm going to click on that one. Drag it in. Now, notice what layer it's on. It's still on my window layer. I don't care right now. I'm just going to drop it in there. And then I'm going to go like this. I'm going to move this from its own midpoint to right here at the midpoint of that. That should line it up dead center with that window. Now, at this point, I'll change it into some appliances, but that usually sits back. See, the front edge of this is usually 2.5 to 3 inches from the front of the counter. If I do a distance right here, from here to here, and it's an undermounted sink, that's 1.5 inches. So I'm probably going to go in here and move this just so it looks about right, because the cabinet maker will do this. This is just for appearances. I'll move that back a full inch. That'll give me enough space back here. Backsplash should go across right there, faucets, etc. So I should be good to go. I'll change that layer right there to be an appliance, or actually a plumbing layer. So let's go up here. There's my plumbing layer. So it goes in on the plumbing layer, and I can drop it in. I can put the appliances in next to it, but it lets me drop those in. So as I do this, I'll use my insert command to do things like I told you, this is a powder room. Yeah, I'll go back to my insert. I'll find a toilet. Let's find one. I'm opposed to using the one that just named John. There's a toilet from top view. I'll drop him in right there. Hit my escape key, make sure no commands up. Use the rotate function to rotate this, say 90 degrees, and then move this from here. I'll put it dead center for that. Now it's not going to be up against the window. I'm going to move it forward from here. Oh, straight forward. We're going to go about 2 inches. I better go about 2.5, apparently. But 2 more, just because. That should give it enough space. The plumber will actually lay it out. It becomes an assumed plumbing plan. But this will actually, again, also become plumbing. Okay. Now, looking at this, I need to consider something. That's my bowl of my toilet, and I have to have a 30-inch by 30-inch area in front of my toilet bowl. Well, let's just drop it in right now. I'm going to go to create it, make layer current, and I'm going to go back to my insert, and I'm going to find an oval sink. This is regular vanity sink. If I drop him in and rotate him, because, you know, I'm going to rotate him to match up the right way. So I move him from, say, his quadrant right here. Looking for a quadrant. Apparently I can't find one on that one. Let's try again. Rotate. That's not sitting straight in my brain. It looks like it is, but it isn't. So I put that right there. I definitely don't have enough space here. I need to do some thinking. So easiest thing I can do at this point is literally move walls. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to move, and I'm actually going to click all of this stuff right here, and this right here, and these walls, all of this right here, including my sink right here, and all my door pieces right there. And I'm going to take this whole thing right here and move it straight down that way. I was off. In fact, if I drag it back, it'll give me a rough dimension of that. I was about a foot away is all. So I'm going to move this thing, let's go 18 inches. That'll give me right about exactly 30 inches in between. So I go 18 inches over. That'll get me where I need to be. Now, all I got to do is, again, use my fillet command to trim some things up, but that'll work for me. So I'm going to finish putting in the rest of my appliances here. I'll definitely put a fridge in this area. That's just a taste thing. I'll put, I'm sure, a large island out here adjacent to the fridge with the cooktop in it. I'm probably going to put a double broiler right here in the corner ovens, just because, like in my experience and in my home cooking, we like to do a lot of baking and roasting and things like that. We often need more than one oven. So I'll stick that right there, and we'll just get that updated and be ready to go. Thanks for your time.